The name is Liru and the show is Friday Night Blues.
And in that process of accepting people, introducing those people to Jesus Christ, introducing them to the steps and the precepts of Jesus Christ.
Is this empowering for me? So, going back to being an African right now, if you talk to a young person in Africa and tell them to go back to the basics, I'll say go to farm.
Empower Bank, which was established to say that we want youths to gain funds.
Today's well.
So I wish you can refer to me the examples of these extroverts that have made it today for us to prove and support your notion.
To really spend the time in doing the research and doing the innovation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now getting into the second segment of the show, which is the debate. You have heard Mr. Manara sharing his story, but we also have two more entrepreneurs in the house. I'm going to call upon Mr. Joseph Mahowa. Yes. You can take my chair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. May you face this side. So he actually has an interesting story. I'm just going to give you a summary of the story. How often do you get disappointed by service providers and you do something about it? Me, sometimes I don't even do anything about it. But you know what he did? He missed his flight, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he missed his flight, and because of that, he formed a company which is a traveling agency, just for convenience. How awesome is that? Well done. Okay, so our final panelist is Miss Karima Kwenda. You know what this lady did? She, after finishing her engineering degree, a chemistry degree, she decided not to find employment, so she started manufacturing detergents. And now she's the owner of Turbulence Detergents, which is located in Bulawayo and Harare, am I right?
Yes.
Yes, well done. So, Ms. Karima Kwenda, after finishing your degree, you decided to start a company.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone can be able to do that? Is everyone an entrepreneur?
I believe everybody has got the capacity to be an entrepreneur. Everybody has got a desire. I'm also a Christian, and I believe when Genesis 1 says, when God said, let us make man in our own image, that was an idea. So if we are made in the image of God, it means we too, we all have ideas at the end of the day. We all can be creative. We all solve problems at the end of the day. Like you rightly said, entrepreneurship is about solving problems. We face problems wherever we go.
Fortunate enough, we have got someone who solves the problem. He solves the problem.
Oh,
Do you think anyone can solve a problem?
No. It's not very good. Because, look, what we need to understand is, I think the basis of entrepreneurship has been misunderstood
Yes.
so many times, because we should understand the difference between business and entrepreneurship.
Oh,
Those are actually two different things.
may you please define the two for us?
Okay,
Okay.
so with business, like my brother right here, he's into freight forwarding or shipping. So I can see that he's doing well, and then I'm interested in his business just because he's doing well. So I can get into the same business using the same model. Everything that he's doing, I just copycat it. Now that's business. I'm now in business. But now when it comes to entrepreneurship, we're talking about game changing. It may take like 2 days for you to deliver a service or 6 hours. But now with an entrepreneur, you're here to change the narrative, how the business is run, making sure that the service delivery is quick.
Okay.
You understand?
So
just
before
change
you
the
go any
narrative.
further, I'll come back to you. Mr. Manara, you if I understood your story very well,
Yes.
you copied something from someone, right? Would you say you are an entrepreneur or a business person? He just said that is business.
Maybe I need to answer it in a different way.
Okay.
I did not copy something from someone.
Okay.
I established a business from my knowledge or my understanding of the business, because it's something that I had done over a couple of years, and this is what flows in my blood. I got that.
So would you label yourself as a game changer?
Absolutely.
So he is an entrepreneur. You see?
I regard myself as one.
Okay, you can continue.
I feel like entrepreneurship comes with an attitude.
Okay.
So it's all about what you're changing. I think what we need to understand is that there are four main reasons why people build businesses. The reason why I say not everyone is an entrepreneur, because some people, the first reason why people build businesses is those lifestyle businesses. So someone cannot be, someone is not happy with the car they're driving, the house they're living in,
Yes.
the income they have, and they decide, no, I need to start a business. So it's a reason for them to start a business, just to fund a lifestyle. It's very hard to find entrepreneurs in that segment.
Oh.
Do you understand?
Wow.
Then we have people who are building businesses for generations, for legacy businesses.
Yes.
We see this in Indians, whereby the grandfather opens up a butchery store, who passes on the business to the son, who opens up a corner shop, who passes on to another son. Those are legacy businesses. They're just there to get passed on and on. Then we have people who build businesses to sell them. Right? So we can have people like venture capitalists, people who are building businesses, grow the businesses, minimizing the cost so that they can just sell the business. Then we have people who build businesses for philosophy. Now these are entrepreneurs, because these people are building businesses to change what's already there, to change how everything is done. A very good example in Zimbabwe where we can have
Did you change what was already there?
yeah, we changed a lot.
Okay.
We changed a lot. So a very good example can be Econet.
Okay.
How they changed from how we were used to landlines and all that, and to having cell
But
phones.
wasn't that like borrowed technology? Like it was already there.
Yes,
They just brought
it was
to
already
Zimbabwe.
there,
Yes.
and then we didn't have it in Zimbabwe. Right?
So would we say they copied, or they are game changers according to your definition?
Now they become game changers to the
Wow.
market of Zimbabwe,
Oh, wow.
if you understand what I'm saying.
I
So
do.
they become game changers because if you look at it, whenever you get an idea, there's a high probability that someone else out there is thinking about the same idea.
Very true.
Now what differentiates us is there are people who are risk takers.
Mm.
They don't just think about it, they do it.
Oh,
So now those are game changers.
wow. This is
But
kind of
then my
yes.
question would be, are we saying not everybody has that capability at the end of the day? Because everybody has got the capability to change the game at the end of the day. Not necessarily that they will do it, but that they have the capacity to do it.
Mm.
If I can
Yes,
interject.
you can. And then you continue. Sorry,
It's fine.
Everyone does has, like everyone have got this capability
Right.
of starting. But now entrepreneurship is not in starting because everyone can start a business. Everyone can start a business. But it's in the process of sustaining that business. That's where the art of entrepreneurship is. So now we can't say everyone is an entrepreneur because that's why we have 80% of businesses that are started. Within their first 2 years they fail because it's hard. It's not easy to do business. So now, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Not everyone can be able to sustain that pressure, that loneliness that comes with being an entrepreneur. So now what I would say is that everyone can be a preneur, not an entrepreneur, because we have intrapreneurs. Now these are guys who are there they are your workers, they work within an organization, but they are game changing within an organization. They are not there to start their own something,
Okay.
but they change it in. So I would say, if you'd say everyone is a preneur, maybe I would buy that. But being an entrepreneur,
Wow.
My question then would be, why is it you find a greater population of entrepreneurs where there are sustainable systems? So, for instance, in China, because of how the system works, you find a greater number of entrepreneurs than you would obviously find in Zimbabwe.
yeah.
Wouldn't you then say that if the systems were there, then people would then become entrepreneurs?
Like what I said, there's a difference between entrepreneurship and business. So now my question is, the rate in China that you're talking about, are these people business people or they're entrepreneurs? Because we should understand the difference between these two. I think that's where the problem comes. Because can we say, if we take Dance and then we take Nyarazo, these are two businesses that are in the same industry.
Yes.
They are businesses.
Right.
But I'd like to believe that one is an entrepreneur, one is a business. Because we look at how Nyarazo disrupted the market. Right?
Yes.
How they came in with the buses, how they came in with the catering team. That's changing the whole thing. And then we see others following that. And that's entrepreneurship.
I would like to disagree with you because when Dove got into the industry, you would say they were game changers, right?
Yeah.
Right. When Nyarazo comes in, they're also game changers. So you would then agree that at one point in time, Dove's was an entrepreneurship venture, yes? So it means there are seasons and times where maybe someone's in business, maybe someone's in entrepreneurship, meaning that the capacity can still continue from time to time. For instance, Samsung actually started as a fishing company, and then they changed the game in technology. When they were in fishing, they were taking the ideologies from generations, so they were a business. But once they changed their minds, they got to a place of entrepreneurship. Everybody has got that capability to reinvent themselves, reinvent their communities, and by extension, reinvent the country, right? So this is why I say everybody has got the capability to be an entrepreneur.
Mr. Manara, I think he wants to save someone.
I want to agree with my sister here.
Yes.
We need to define the term entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yes, it says a person who sets up a business or businesses taking on financial risks in the hope of a profit. That's the definition of an entrepreneur. So I think my brother here is narrowing it to a pioneer maybe of an idea. To say you have come up with an idea, or if there's an idea already, you have refined it to make it unique. I think that's my take home for his definition of an entrepreneur. But I want to disagree. I think an entrepreneur is any person who comes up with, who sets up a business. If he fails or succeeds, then the definition differs now. On what type of
That's the Google definition, right?
yes, of an
You
entrepreneur.
But now,
So I think
I'm not
I
trying
want
to
to
say
go
it's
along
bad.
with yeah.
But now on that note, we understand that the education system of Zimbabwe, we have a subject called business studies,
Yes.
business management.
Yes.
Then why is it everyone is crying that entrepreneurship should be taught in schools? But we do have business studies. If you can answer me that, then maybe I'll give you an E. Because we do have business studies,
Yes.
business management. This is teaching people business. But we are still crying that we need to teach the youth entrepreneurship. Is it different from business?
I think that goes back to the early days, pre-independence maybe, or early independence, where we had like vocational schools where you are taught business, like the practical business, like practical skills. Like, for example, there used to be mechanics, for example. You actually taught how to fix a car in the workshop. But when you say it's there is business study, it's theory, really.
But
People
just
have
to
been
agree
taught,
with
yeah,
him,
yes.
just to agree with him, we actually have colleges. We have colleges who are teaching entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Right. So if everyone is an entrepreneur, why is it that then people have to acquire that skill through education.
I think it's a marketing tool by the colleges. To
Ah.
say, yes, I want to think so. To say they acting like they are introducing something new. It's just terminology. It's a marketing strategy.
Okay.
To say we are now introducing entrepreneurship when everyone else is teaching business, whatever. Then people will rush there to say we are going. This is the new thing, you know. But it's I think basically if you make a comparison, if we can do this research to say what they call entrepreneurship and business study on the other hand, what are the differences? You may see that it's the same thing, you know.
I'm sure he wants to say something.
Yeah.
Who can make it?
I think what I want to understand now is, let's use examples, right?
Yes.
So we can have a person who goes to Mbaramsika or to a farmer,
Yes.
and then he buys fruits.
Mm.
He comes back and then he retails those fruits, right? So he's just collecting the fruit from the supplier, selling it to the market, right?
Absolutely.
Then we have someone who comes, he buys the fruits, he dries them, and then now he's selling snacks.
Mm.
Or he makes, he creates orange juice, he creates juice, milkshakes and all that.
Yes.
These people are in business, but they're totally different.
Mm.
So I would like to believe that it all comes, it boils down to the mentality. It all boils down to the mentality, because we can't say that doing the same things is considered as business. Because if,
Someone that has been done by someone already.
I feel like that's business.
Okay.
That's business. But now with entrepreneurship, it's more like you're innovating. You're innovating, you're creating something new, or you're developing something that's already there to better things.
Okay, Miss Karimapin.
Thank you. Just to play in your court, Joseph, you have to understand, I mean, both of us are in this entrepreneurship venture. We need to understand the fact that we need business background in order to be an entrepreneur. We need it, regardless of what it is. For myself, when I realized I wasn't going to get a job and I still needed to make an income, I realized when I got into the game that I had such a big fall off, because at university, I wasn't really taught about, you know, doing books, cash flow and things like that. All I knew was money in, expenses out, profit.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the other business terminology and structures and systems, right? But as an entrepreneur, I still need that, right? So even if these schools have got business studies, entrepreneurs need business studies. And like what Mr. Marara said, entrepreneurship is just a new icing on the same cake.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You agree with him?
The cake is already there. You are now enterprising. It means you are going the extra mile. You know, you are going a step further from what exists already.
So you're icing the cake, right?
You are icing the cake.
So my question now comes to, is the iced cake and the uniced cake, do they taste the same?
Differently, absolutely not.
Which boils down to the difference between entrepreneurship and business.
But then at the end of the day, both have cake, which is business.
Okay. We are going to take questions from the audience. Yes. Okay. Yes.
In part of the discussions, you said in the schools they are teaching business management. But are you aware that in polytechnics there is a subject that was introduced, I don't know when, that is called ESD, Entrepreneurship Development Skills, and it is mandatory. So it has been taught for, I don't know when was it introduced. So everyone who is passing through polytechnics, you have to do that subject. But to what extent has that helped in nurturing people to be entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Well, what I think is that entrepreneurship mainly is not taught in school. I feel like entrepreneurship, because like what my sister was saying right here, that she was taught that money in, money out, you make profit. But what entrepreneurship is really what they don't teach us. It's the hustle, it's the early mornings, it's those meetings. Now that's entrepreneurship. And no one is going to come and teach you that you should wake up at 5. No one is going to teach you that. But it's something that you're going to see in the market. It's how to fight competition. It's not what's in the books. Because the world is changing every day. New phones are coming out, new technology, new products, and new services. And that, even if you look at the examples used in books, maybe they can be outdated by 3 years. But if you come back to reality now, it's a whole different game. So what I think is that teaching entrepreneurship in schools can make someone an entrepreneur, but to be a high-end entrepreneur, it's something that you learn on the ground. It's a process. You learn as you go. Because you make mistakes, you learn from that mistake, you move on. I think that's what I think.
Answered. Okay. Another question?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so from what I've learned from when you were speaking is basically that business, when you're being taught business management, it's more of you being taught the theory aspect, and then when you are being taught entrepreneurship, it's the practical aspect, right? So my question is, what is more important? Is it business management or entrepreneurship? Because for instance, like a lot, I feel like anyone can become an entrepreneur, such as you were saying, because from your definition, you're basically saying, if I've started a business, I need to be innovative, or I need to expand on an idea for it to then be deemed an entrepreneurship, right? But at the same time, I feel like you cannot be an entrepreneur without you having a business background. Like if you are an entrepreneur, you need to know business management, you need to know the book side for you to sustain it so that it can become an entrepreneurship. So my question to you is, what do you think is more important? Is it business management or it's entrepreneurship?
Directions to Ian. Okay.
Well, I think maybe let me start by explaining something. That when we are taught business management, it's basically learning how business is run. So it's not teaching you to start your own business, but it's teaching you the process of how business is managed, right? So that's why you find out that if I'm an entrepreneur, the first thing that I'm going to do when I'm building my team, I'm building people with business knowledge. Understand? So business is a fundamental. It's business management, it's a fundamental for everyone because we need that skill. Right? But now with entrepreneurship, I feel like it's another step high above business management, right? Because we can take someone who is an entrepreneur, because when you're an entrepreneur, let me be honest with you, you are sometimes confused. Because sometimes you don't even know what you're doing, right? So I can have an idea, like I see a problem, let's say maybe the lighting is not good for the cameras. And then I just think of that I can introduce a certain type of lights, right? But I don't know how to do accounting. I don't know how to market. What I know is how to create a product. You understand? So we do need business skills when you're an entrepreneur.
So that's the most important.
It is very important, especially sales. If you're an entrepreneur, every entrepreneur, because if you're in business, I think you can agree with me, we are all in the business of selling. Even if you're a doctor, you're selling your skill. If you're a travel agency, we are selling our services, they are selling products. So it's a game of sales. So if you ask me what's the number one skill that an entrepreneur should have, it's the art of selling. That's the number one skill.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I just want to disagree with them just a bit and say this.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs do not need business skills. Entrepreneurs do not need to know what to sell. Entrepreneurs need to know how to fill the vacuum and know how to delegate. So when you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you must then be able to know that you do not know accounting. So you hire the guy who knows accounting. when you must know that I do not know how to do business management. So you hire the guy who does business management, but they need your vision. So an entrepreneur just needs a vision, not all these fancy things. An entrepreneur wants to know what needs to be done and where, and then gets all these other guys around him, and they work for him. So this is entrepreneurship par excellence. You make people work for you. You delegate them. So for instance, she opened a chemicals company. She probably doesn't even have the slightest idea how to balance a ledger. Right? So if you want to be successful, the reason why we have lots of our indigenous companies or lots of our entrepreneurs in this country failing is because they don't know how to delegate. So they become the accountant, they become the manager, they become the everything, and they have no slightest idea how to balance books. So they have the idea to start the business, they've started it, and it's growing, but they don't know how to manage it. So they don't get the manager, the proper guy and stuff like that. I've seen guys who don't know the slightest of things, and they've told me, blessed, I don't have to be the brightest light in the room.
Yes.
And I don't want people who are duller than me in my team. I want them better than me.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Just a question to you, Lizzie. So with your new definition of entrepreneurship par excellence, can everybody attain that standard?
Okay. So look at it this way. There are some people that I've seen that have been excellent managers for big institutions, corporations. And if you ask them to start their own thing, they're just going to dismally fail. Because they're used to being told that this is the bottom line of the company, and then they move with that vision. So vision is not for everyone. Provision is for everyone, but vision is for a limited few.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to support what Blessed is saying.
Yes.
I'll use my own example. I have established Secure Freight since 2000.
Yes.
I have a team of experts that I have in my employment. I have set up a business in South Africa. I fly there, sometimes drive there, but I'm usually all over. I'm split between Harare, Gaborone, and South Africa. I have teams who are doing things there.
Yes.
I've delegated experts in their areas that they are good at. That's, for me, that's entrepreneurship. I've just set up a real estate company. I have no slightest idea, but I have the vision and I've seen someone doing it. So I'm in touch with experts in the field of real estate. Those are the guys who will be running the show. I spent the whole of last year doing some political work out there, and I was never in the field. I was with my laptop and my phone.
Yes.
All I do is to monitor and follow up, to say, because you set up systems.
Okay.
I'm told that one of the most successful companies in Zimbabwe, which is now international, the owner, I don't want to mention names, the owner controls all the finances, especially the outgoing. He has put a cap to say anything beyond 10,000 RTGS, it has to pass through his desk. You know, you put up systems, control systems, but you don't have to be everything. You can never know everything. So successful people play golf. They don't spend the day. I'm telling you, I'm being honest. Successful people are. They spend their time playing golf.
Yes, yes.
You know, serious people like the American presidents, they go and play golf, but America is not run by the president even. He has put competent people who run the show.
Okay.
You know?
He obviously wants to say something.
Oh yes.
I think that, no, they're correct. You're very correct.
Yes.
If you're an entrepreneur, you need to build systems around your business so that the system works for you.
Yes.
But I'm talking from a Zimbabwean perspective.
Okay.
We're talking from an African perspective, right? We are all in Africa. I think the problem that we've been making is that we have been taking how business is run in America, in an A-class world, bringing the same system into Zimbabwe where we are not even close to that. Now we are talking to entrepreneurs, we are talking to young guys who want to start up a business. And once he just hears that, okay, I need to hire this, I need to hire that, they are not going to start. So now my question is, I'm supporting him when we say, don't start Gucci. Don't start Gucci. Now, what this means is, I remember when I started the travel agency.
Yes, yes.
I remember I was the guy who would do the quotation, would look for the flights, said I was everywhere, right? But if we look at it, this is how everyone starts.
Yeah.
Because if you want to build systems, I can't start by hiring 5 people. I can't do that because I need to understand the whole business. I think that's why you realize that when some people are now interviewed about their businesses, they don't understand it. Because they are not part of the system. But now if you're an entrepreneur, you need to know everything in your business. If the salesperson is not there, you need to be there, doing sales. If the manufacturer is not there, you need to be there doing manufacturing. So what I'm saying is that as an entrepreneur, you need to understand your business from A to Z. But now the problem is we are talking about someone who's in Zimbabwe, who's only got $100 and is thinking of starting a business. And then already in his head, he's thinking that I should hire someone. It's not going to work like that. He's going to be doing everything. But when the business grows, he starts employing people. You understand? So you don't see, yeah.
It's okay, sorry to interrupt you. I want to agree with you there. Like I said, I started from the street. It was myself, and myself alone, with my knowledge, you know, and my pouch with the documents, you know, my diary. That was all. I have built it from there. That's a starting point from a poor angle like myself, because I'm Zimbabwean. The environment is different from South Africa or from America, where if you want to start a business, there are support systems from government, there are institutions which support you to start a business. The funding is there. In Zim, you start from ground zero. So starting from ground zero, you cannot employ someone. Because
I like it. You know, I like it when we start agreeing like this. It means the debate is about to end.
Yes. So, but I think it takes us to the topic.
Yes.
Is everyone an entrepreneur?
We are going to start with Ms. Karima Kwenda. Your conclusion on that?
I think everybody is an entrepreneur because everybody can have a vision.
Yes.
Not that they necessarily can go after that vision, but I think everybody can have a vision.
Yes.
If they have enough the courage, enough the support, they can go after that vision. But that capability to be an entrepreneur is definitely there in everybody.
Your conclusions?
Absolutely, I support what she says entirely. Everyone can be an entrepreneur. So long as you get the right support systems, the right set of mind, and then you can become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm the black sheep. Well, to conclude, I would say that everyone can be a business person. Everyone can be an idealist, because you can think of an idea. That's why you see some people sell ideas, because they don't want to be in business, but they just have this idea, so they sell the idea. So I believe that everyone can be a business person, everyone can be an idealist, but definitely not everyone can be an entrepreneur.
Okay. Like I said, we are just concluding the day. Remember, it's not a competition, it's a learning platform. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to our studio audience, and thanks to all those that were watching us live through the Facebook page, which is
Heart and Soul TV.
Heart and Soul. Thank you so much, Heart and Soul team. Thank you so much, Build Africa. Build Culture Africa Youth. Yes. And thank you so much, everyone that I did not mention, but who managed to help us this evening. Until next time, it's bye for now.